Well, there you are. We're getting into the final match of the day. It's going to be the Los Angeles Gladiators going up against the Washington Justice, and the Los Angeles Gladiators fans happen to have found their way into the arena.
Not a far area to go from a Los Angeles fan. It's a home game.
It's still LA. Still LA.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably like 45 minutes traffic, you know,
Yeah.
get over here.
Yeah, every mile about an hour and a half is roughly the drive time you want to budget for in Los Angeles.
I didn't miss it, Hex, but
right.
We're back.
So he's had a very good match that was really interesting here. Now this one we don't expect to be super close. It could be a monumental upset though. As you see our standings, the Justice at number 19, only 2 wins on the entire season. The Gladiators have put themselves back in the conversation of being the 4th best team, well, by virtue of being the 4th best team in our standings.
Yes, and actually doing very well these days, Gladiators. It's not like it's scrappy wins. They're getting the job done clean. So the Justice have got their work cut out for them, Hex. They got a struggle ahead of them, all aboard the bus.
They've been on the struggle bus pretty much all season. It's been very difficult. It's just some of these lowlights here, you know, the opposite of highlights. So it's just a very frustrating team to watch because even when they do things well, they don't do them well enough. There's a lot of, I guess, passive play, which has been some of the most frustrating part of it. They just poke, and it seems like they never go, which is what you want to be doing here. These are their team fight stats. Team fight win rate after first death, last in the league. Team fight win rate after first elim, 17th. And that's the thing that's most frustrating to me, is they get a first kill. And usually you get the first kill, your odds are very high to win that. But 17th in the league after they get a first kill to win a fight is brutal. And a lot of it, I think, is just the lack of confidence that the support line has in Yanis, and then thus the vicious loop, feedback loop of the lack of confidence he has in his support line, because it seems like he dies a lot. They're halfway back to spawn by the time he's already dead. So it's been one of those kind of strange things we're going to keep an eye out for.
Exactly, and we're not going to waste any time. We're going to get our first team out on the stage, the Washington Justice.
Corey in the house. Yet again, he will lead this team out here. He's been some of the bright spots. Look, there have been bright spots on this team from individual players. It reminds me very much of the Florida Mayhem, where one person's playing well and several people aren't, and vice versa. They just need to be able to put it all together. You're looking for just some sort of progress now if you're a Justice fan. You don't necessarily expect the win. You'll take it if you get it. But you need some progress. You need to see team fight wins. You need to see a team playing like it believes in itself, because it looks like they've lost all faith in their ability to win.
Do they have a belief in the system? We're about to find out, because their opponents are going to make their way to the stage next, the Los Angeles Gladiators.
Gladiator.
Well, I believe we've turned up the bass in the arena for the Gladiator walkout there. Super fans leading the charge. Very excited for the hometown team. The Gladiators fans always show up in full force here. And wearing the alternative jerseys, a lot like their academy team. A little variation, but some cool looking jerseys there.
Yeah.
This team has played really well lately. They've been running interesting strategies. They've been varying it up. They're not just running 3-3. They can run the 3-3. But I think when you're playing a team against Washington, what do you really learn about your team by beating them 3-3? Very little. So I would expect them to try different strategies. This is like practice in real time on the stage, unfortunately for Washington fans. Now, if the Gladiators start to get in trouble, they could always revert back to their core strength, which is the 3-3 composition.
Or do they just take the shock approach and say, no, we'll play 3-3 and we're just going to obliterate you completely? Might be the case.
It depends if they have any plans tonight, really.
Might be the case.
I mean, do you really get out of here?
When was KBBQ again?
Quickly?
I don't know, that booking, man. That
What
traffic.
what I actually really want to see them practice is who plays the Sombra in these compositions. As I mentioned earlier today, I think if you really had your choice, you want your Diva player playing Sombra so that you can make the switch as easily as possible. Only one person has to switch. That would be Void. We haven't seen a ton of it. We've seen Shortboard play a lot of Sombra. We've seen Decay play a lot of Sombra. They have several capable Sombra players, but you would prefer, I think, Void to play it because it just makes transitions a lot easier. Most Sombra compositions don't run the Diva, so it just makes that switch much more seamless.
Exactly right, and it's all about efficiency at this point.
Yep.
You're fine-tuning. We're halfway through the season. You're starting to get to that finish line of the playoffs. They're starting to loom up. You need to get the nuts and bolts of your roster down pat now if you're going to be competitive and start getting the real crack at the top of the pack. So obviously on your screen here, taking a look at some of the Gladiators fans, and as I say that, fans and players, and as I say that, of course, we switch over to Washington Justice.
I bet you they're fans of themselves. You know, you gotta have a little bit of an ego if you're gonna be a top-tier competitor.
Exactly, they have something to be a fan of too. They're doing well right now, 4th in the league. Let's take a look at our maps now, presented by Toyota. Nepal is going to be our kicker.
Well, the exact same map set that we had earlier today. Horizon was about, 12 CP. A lot of control points taken. We're going to kick it off here on Nepal, and we'll see what compositions these teams want to run as we load into Sanctum. Sanctum, of course, can be an Orisa map. We haven't seen much of it, but it's definitely been a Winston map, and both these teams will choose to run a Winston. And now the battle over the Sanctum stairs begins.
It's fun. We haven't actually had this point yet today, Hex. We missed out on it earlier. So let's go. All 3 points for Nepal.
Uh-oh.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, displaced off the edge, and that is a huge first kill, because that doesn't allow Roar to be as aggressive. And that means he's going to be behind in Primal Rage, very likely.
Well, I like this approach here from Gladiators as well. They don't even challenge. They're just going to wait for him to run back into the fight, Decay.
Oh, you can't lose here.
And then, yeah, but like they're not like throwing bad money after good.
Yeah, exactly.
Or good money after bad.
That would be the way your play goes.
You know, shame on me, pull me, whatever.
Yeah, stop it, W. All right, so now Washington in full control here. They're counting up, and that first kill really, really hurt the Gladiators, puts them behind the 8 ball. Not really capitalized on by Washington because the Gladiators had such a strong disengage.
Exactly, so in terms of ult charge, they are slightly ahead right now, but they are on the defense. The Gladiators have to come to them, so Sleepy gonna get that Trance online. Chazz mirrored it. Now Roar, whoa, straight in, hoping to cut him up. He's gonna get that primal and just goes knocking!
He actually got it first.
Does he get anybody off the side? No, of course he doesn't. He might throw himself off the side.
Now with the cooldowns on Primal Rage jump, you almost always have it up. You see a lot of interesting tech on this map because of it. Now it's Yanis' turn. He's got a Zen alone in the corner.
Looking for grabs, but hey, it's the Justice who kick it off. Sensam finding 2 in the corner. Roar and Decay getting cut off from their team. There's a trap here that the Gladiators are currently dancing on the edge of, which is to underestimate your opponents, even if your opponents are objectively at the bottom of the standings right now in the league. These are still players that could take advantage of you making mistakes and getting sloppy. So the Gladiators, they need to tighten their game up here, Hex.
Yeah, I think a lot of resources actually went into trying to save Chazz, who was getting juggled in the corner, and then that Self-Destruct ended up taking out both tanks on the point. Well, the Washington Justice are in one-fight territory from coming out really strong here on Sanctum.
Now we move into it. Decay's got that grab, so that could be the fight ender. Oh yeah, there it is. Solo misses it somehow. What a play coming out from Otto. Dodges the grab completely. Still gonna lose Yanis, so unfortunately, it isn't ideal here, but they do trade for sure for. So we're going one for the other. Self-Destruct out in the open.
It seems like a bit of a miscommunication as 2 of the Justice reacted to the point. It was getting pressured down by Big Goose. I think you just give up the point there and make sure you win the fight. And 2 of them went back and ended up in an odd numbers scenario for the remainder of the Justice, and the Gladiators are able to win that fight because of it. Still 1 fight away for the Washington Justice. They're in a decent spot with ultimates, should have Rally. They're gonna have Transcendence too. And now you just gotta get Corey booted up to a Graviton and they could easily win Sanctum. Have to be careful though, Roar is at 90%. You don't really want to take the stairs against an angry monkey.
I'm just still replaying in my mind the dodge there, the juke from Otto on that grab. Just, nope. Saw it coming, dodged it, perfect play, set it up, but hey, we're in the fight now, and somebody just get hucked over the side. Yep, Decay again.
Yeah, Decay somehow knocked over the side. Roar is the one at the Primal Rage, so he should be doing the damage. Big Goose answers in kind, grab is in.
This is weird. They're getting picked off now. Gladiators, one after the other. This is not going to help things. You're going to start trying to see them exactly try to delay, try to contest. Nobody left to do so. Void's going to have to be quick. He's hanging around right on the side. Yep. Dashes onto the point just to make sure that that overtime wick doesn't burn down. And now Chazz is forced to use the Trance to keep everybody in.
Roar forces the Transcend in the back line, so it's not an ideal Transcendence, but they do get in on this. Barrier from both sides, some destruct from both sides. No kills for either side. Still in control. Gladiators trying to pull this one back. Another big boop from the Big Goose.
Oh, and then Sleepy goes down as well. They're falling apart on the side of the Justice. What a delay coming in from the Gladiators, keeping their cool. definitely looked like a lost point, like a lost fight, but they just played it so patiently, kept contesting, and didn't throw it away.
This is what's so frustrating about being a Justice fan, is that they come out swinging, they look very good, and then they simply give away fights by miscommunication, miscoordination, and sometimes a lack of execution. Yanis has a chance to be a hero in this next engagement at 85%. He's been the GOAT of this team thus far, and I don't mean greatest of all time. Gets a lot of flack from the fan base, but he can turn it all around here if he can win them this point.
A lot riding on his shoulders, that's for sure. It's a slow approach right now from Justice. They still have a little bit of time to set up. We're at 90% now for the Gladiators.
It's one fight.
So
the problem is Decay is going to have this graviton. He can shut down a Primal.
Bubble is down. This is starting to look tasty. Yep, there's the grab in the corner. Body block him in. No helping. Yanis gets cut off from the rest of his team. Otto goes down as well. Now Sleepy tries to throw the Trance in to hope to contest. That's no bueno. And Roar right into the back line. Sleepy smushed.
Sanctum gets another double, and Yanis has this Primal. He's trying to get his counterpart here. Has to jump on the point. This one's not quite over yet. They've got Short4 isolated in the back lines. It's a 3v2 on the point, but now the numbers switch, and the Gladiators come back in.
Yeah, this is brutal. They're doing this so well right now, the Gladiators. One after the other, the Justice will fall. And that is the first point picked up for the Los Angeles Gladiators. A scrappy one for sure.
Go back to when it was about 80-something%, and the Gladiators had not taken control yet. Big Goose goes back to pressure the point. That's fine. Most teams don't even go back. They say, oh, cool, that means we have a 6v5 up front. Let's go fight it. 2 members of the Justice went back to fight it. Now you have a 4v5 up front. Yanis dies, and it was all downhill from that one. It's those small things that at the top level of Overwatch cost you stages, cost you maps.
I like to see the decisiveness from Decay as well. Just, oh, Yanis, you're alone in the corner. You've already dropped your bubble. There's nothing to save you. I'm going to actually just body block you in here. That doesn't always work out here for Decay, though. This was it, just the bait and switch. Otto, that was so clean.
Just out of range.
So clean. I love it, but Decay still got the job done. Found himself a monkey afterwards. So now Los Angeles Gladiators up 1-0 on the map.
Now that we go to Village, we're going to see Reinhardt variations, but the poke game being heavily lost by Washington here. They have to give up ground. They have to move all the way back. Everyone's healed up. Rotation's still coming, and the point's not even unlocked yet. So this is not terrible, but the high ground is definitely easily taken by the Gladiators, and this becomes hard to try to come in without eating too much damage.
They just got whopped. Now Gladiators, they get to go ahead and press forward. Bit sad not to see the main variation.
They almost got split up, but it's a good job by Washington to stay alive during that. Early shatter.
Oh, thrown out, catches the edge of the shield. No follow-up. Sleepy barely survives it. He'll keep it together. And the Gladiators will pick up first control here. They are cut in half, though, the Justice, and there is no support. Nobody will be here to help. You're all gone.
That's 2 tank ultimates in the first fight from Roar and Decay, respectively. Both support ultimates now up as well for the Gladiators, and it's that early positional advantage, mostly the early poke war. Early poke war onto Washington means they have to back out, rotate around, they get healed back up, then they take all the damage on the way in, and that's how the ult economy swung so heavily in the Gladiators' favor.
Rallies all over the place now. Justice just hoping to get a bully play here. They do have ults online. Mainly the backline, but there's the grab. Trance used by Chazz. Right on the edge. Somehow, does he get blocked on the architecture there? Something stopped him from going forward?
It could have also been a bubble from Corey to be able to drop that in. Line of sight, very important for that Transcendence. It's a small attack. It happens sometimes, though. And with that, Washington Justice will come right back.
That was weird.
It's also very good. They only had to use 1 ultimate ability there. They got Transcendence out, and just like that, the economy has swung in the direction of the Washington Justice.
So, they're looking good. 1 ult, 2, I guess if you count the rally to initiate initially.
Rally, Rally just charges so fast that you just always expect it to be hit when it's ready.
Over the top we go, trying to cut him up. It's gonna happen too. Big Goose forced to use the sound barrier. Chazz doesn't get the love though, so he's playing careful, and that's gonna cost Short4 his life. Chazz in the back line gets assassinated. Sleepy and Sansam working together as a unit. And the Gladiators are having to work for this Hex.
Yeah, this is enormous cleanup too, and good stagger. Gonna build some more ultimates for Washington, and yet another fight where they didn't have to use a whole lot. This is actually impressive from Washington. This is why this team is so frustrating. They have moments.
They do, they do. There's talent on the team. It's about getting it to work together, but right now they are making the correct calls, and the Gladiators are struggling. So now it's a matter of keeping it together. We need to see that confidence from them as Corey moves forward, Self-Destruct over the top just to mess around.
The grab does pull them in. Rally's now a reinitiation from the Gladiators.
And now they're just trying to push onto the point itself, and the Justice giving ground. They will have to contest, but there's the grab as they try to make their way through, looking for the punish. Trades back and forth, but it's definitely favoring the Gladiators in the end. And the Justice will lose control, but they do leave it at 77%. It's not too shabby.
It's a good read by Los Angeles as far as alt tracking goes, because Sleepy was getting close, but you kind of have him banked around 80 to 90. So the moment you get that Graviton, you throw it in there. Don't let them play back, which they were trying to do. Washington was trying to disengage, give Sleepy time to hit a volley so they'd have a counterplay to the Graviton. So it's a nice read by Los Angeles, knowing their window of aggression was about to close and going after it.
Now on the Justice, let's see. Capable of a lot here. Corey is not far from that grab, and that could make the difference. Man, he didn't even need the shatter. He just blasted Arc face first. There's Roar going to work. Man advantage now for the Justice.
Graviton's about to be off, but too late as Decay beams down Corey, 92% and counting up. This one's all over for the most part unless they get an epic stall. Arc is on the Hammonds. He gets knocked away. No touch. Gladiators take map number 1.
Looking good, but they are definitely having to work for it. Good to see that on the side of the Justice. It's just the details that aren't quite coming together. Gladiators will take the lead in the series. That is expected. They are 4th in the league in standings. We're taking a quick break, and we will be right back with map 2.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.
Into the iris.
Now on the Justice, let's see. Capable of a lot here. Corey is not far from that grab, and that could make the difference. Man, he didn't even need the shatter. He just blasted Arc face first. There's Roar going to work. Man advantage now for the Justice.
Graviton's about to be off, but too late as Decay.
Welcome back from the break, and the Gladiators, they got the start they were looking for. Hex, a clean 2-0 victory over the Washington Justice on Nepal before we move into the second half of this series.
Crowd was getting a little bit quiet on Sanctum there. You could hear everybody collectively holding their breath for our team of the day, the Los Angeles Gladiators. Of course, team of the day, give stuff away, they hang out, they do signings. So when you see your team of the day announced, make sure you get down here to the Blizzard Arena in lovely Los Angeles. That's more important when it's like in the winter and you live in the Midwest. Get out here. It's lovely Los Angeles. Now it's just beautiful summer, as it always is. But Big Goose saved their bacon a couple times there on Nepal. Got a couple of really nice environmentals. He's been so rock solid for this team ever since, well,
Since ever, yeah.
Game 1, Stage 1, Week 1, like whatever you want to say. Next, we are going to Horizon Lunar Colony, and earlier today we had a very offensive-minded Lunar Colony. Perhaps a little more defense will be played here.
Well, I mean, the whole thing with the Gladiators is putting shields up, right? I mean, you can be offensive with a shield, but a shield is, in general, a defensive
There's
thing.
two shields. There's the defensive Reinhardt shield, and there's shield bash and Brigida.
And shield bash and Brigida.
Yeah.
Just lock stepping forward,
hashtag is
grinding them down.
The hashtag's on meta, is all I'm saying. Shields up.
Exactly. Well. Are we taking the long way around?
Yeah, we're going to space. This is actually going to be a space. Are they doing a hammer and anvil kind of thing? They going half and half? They are. This is cool.
They just need to knock it tonight at the door, and it looks like they will make their way out. Timing is everything, though. Work together here. A little bit of fancy play coming in here from the Gladiators, but that's going to end up costing them. I think they were just slightly off.
I think the notion behind it is that your stairwell crew lets your outside crew know who's outside that door and how hard you can push it. Still, though, even losing one early, Gladiators are in a decent position to push.
Otto's got to be careful he doesn't overextend. That could have been dicey, but he will be able to back off, and Washington Justice for now hold 3 minutes on the clock now on the defense. Gladiators, I mean, I like the idea. It's just, do you want to overcomplicate things, or do you want to just exactly do what the comp is designed to do, which is run together and just kill things?
Well, they do get the first kill on Otto, and Otto had his rally up, and now the huge rally advantage for the Gladiators. This one is all but over.
Yeah, charge him. Rory, you're playing too safe. Charge him. Take him into the wall. No, not that wall. Come on, man.
Now, don't be picky. That's about as clean as it gets there after losing one early with a kind of interesting play. They back up, but not all the way back, just enough. Continue pressure on. And they use the rally advantage to their favor by taking out Otto. You're almost certain that if your Brigida has rally, the other one does as well, given how that fight played out. But the Gladiators in a great position here. Justice still fine, though, because losing a fight that badly means he didn't get a chance to waste ultimates.
So in terms of the defense, they're sitting pretty, and this is going to be the usual approach now for both of these teams. There's the high ground, although the Justice aren't really challenging them on the high ground, interestingly enough. Gladiators, they're fine. They'll go straight to the point, take the fight there.
Four goes from a top of the rope shatter. Does not happen. If Corey can stay alive, they're in good position to counter grab this, knowing that the Transcendence just came out. But Otto falls again.
Eat, Corey, no grab for you. That's a painful one, and this is the Gladiators now just straight pummeling them. Back into spawn you go, onto the point. One take of permanent progress picked up for the Gladiators, and this has just been the name of the game today, Hex.
It's exactly what we saw earlier, though, too. The other Zarya gets so hungry to hit that grab the moment they know Transcendence is down that it almost telegraphs it. They're going to go in and try to have it. And we have seen some very fast rounds of Horizon Lunar Colony today. The Gladiators put up a great round as well, only suffering one loss that entire push. We'll see if their defense is up to snuff when we return.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back, ladies and gents. Hex, actually, we were just having an interesting discussion in terms of what we seem to be seeing a lot of today, which is Grav's getting eaten. Grav's getting eaten, predictably so.
It's because that Transcendence comes in and then the opposing Zarya. I mean, if I'm mentioning of like, oh, they can hit a big Grav here, obviously the other Diva knows that too, and they're just making these great Matrix plays. And it happened in almost the exact same spot as well.
Actually, you're right. You're right. It is the exact same spot as earlier.
There you see on your screen the other half of the Finnish support line. That's Chazz. He was charging Transcendence every 40 seconds, able to use it aggressively. I mean, some things have changed on the Gladiators from Season 1 to Season 2. Big Goose and Chazz remain the constant.
They're just too good. Can't get rid of them, man.
Yeah, can't even get your other Finn out there playing support. No need.
Not when you got I like it. I like it.
Big Goose and Chazz have been playing together for so long as well. The synergy is just off the charts in that support line. They know where the other person's going to be without even having to think about it. Let's see if the Gladiators can put up a good attack. It was a great offense, as you can see, 520 in the bank for them. Defense has been hard to come by in Lunar Colony lately, though. But Yanis goes down early, bash, and there's that Chazz guy showing up again, gets a headshot.
Oh, there into the wall we go. Good night, Corey.
So I mentioned before the match started that I thought the Gladiators could try different things to try to, polish up maybe their Sombra styles or DPS styles. But if you're going to play 3-3 against the Washington Justice on a map that's not Control, because we know Control can be wonky, you better dominate them. You better. Otherwise, your 3-3 looks like it has faults in it. I mean, you need a perfect 3-3 to be able to compete with Vancouver and San Francisco. Or
essentially the elite teams right now in this meta.
Well, New York up there too as well.
They had some growing pains, but yeah, they're there.
New York lost to Atlanta for, twice, just their Achilles heel
for reasons.
Washington gonna roll in upstairs now. Gotta keep Yanis alive.
Almost identical attempts there by the Gladiators to cut them in half. The way that they did the first time around, Roar just going in swinging. He knows he's got the bubble, and Yanis just cannot contend with the pressure. So rinse and repeat. 4 down for the Justice. It looks like Ark and Corey are going to be able to hightail their way back to spawn. Oh, maybe not. Corey! Nice delayed kill on Corey. That's going to really burn some time off the clock.
And there's been 0 eliminations on the offense right now for the Washington Justice. That does not bode well. Support ultimates both online for the Gladiators. Decay still has his Graviton Surge. The only ult used in that last fight was Earthshatter. So not too shabby. 150 means 2 pushes here. Washington's going to try the left side attack here. You end up taking a ton of damage here if your matrixes and your shields aren't perfect, and even then, you still take a lot of chunks from the Zarya.
Trance is going to be used by Sleepy. So trying to keep him up. We're going to have a couple of ults actually getting thrown into the mix here from the Gladiators, but what they're doing right now is just continuing to wear time off of this clock. We're down to 1:20.
And Shortboard was able to use Rally. Otto has not had it yet, I don't believe. A nice knockoff on Yanis is going to make the rotation slow. Okay, he's just going to look for the angle here. He's got the Diva isolated right side, goes for it.
Goes for it. Sound barrier is there, though. There was an opportunity, just a moment to wipe out Corey. We'll see if they can find it again. Chazz has got the chance to keep his team up. Roar somehow goes down to the bomb, though, unfortunately for him. And we lose Void's mech. So there's a chance, that opening here for Washington Justice. If they can keep it together, they could actually wear them down. But Decay is just going to be doing so much damage. You cannot stand and face that guy.
Yeah, more importantly, Shortboard's going to have Rally here too if they should need it as well. He will hit it immediately, have Rally, hit Q, win fight.
This is such a fast grab from Decay. I'm pretty sure he just used grab Hex, and he's already got one again. They're at 21 kills for the Gladiators, 2 for the Justice. The Justice just cannot seem to find anything here versus the Gladiators.
Well, it actually reminds me just like the Mayhem. It's that Otto gets isolated from Yanis, Yanis gets isolated from Otto, and they are unable to help each other out. Another full cleanup here with 6 seconds left. I believe it's safe to say that the Gladiators are going to win Horizon Lunar Colony.
In fine, dominant fashion, what we expect to see from a team of their caliber. They're sitting at the top of the pack, and that is the reason why. Chazz was a bit of the fist bump there with the Goose, and Los Angeles, comfortable lead, 2-0.
A lot of the pundits in the league believe that the Los Angeles Gladiators are the 4th best team by a long shot. We'll see if they have to reaffirm that when we talk to the halftime crew.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
I have brought some friends here to help you learn how to play Overwatch. Friends over there. And friend right here. This is Johnny.
Hi.
Reinforced.
Jonathan, nice to meet
Jonathan,
you.
Reinforced tall man.
I'll teach you some Overwatch today. I'll be your coach.
Would you please?
So first of all, we'll get into the game. Do you have a nickname?
Kunta, K-U-N-T-A.
Press the start button. So if you just hold down the right click, left shift, that punches you upwards.
I like punching things into space.
Johnny was a pro Reinhardt player, so if you want the best Reinhardt tips, you might want to pick Reinhardt.
And he's a giant German tank
Wow.
with a big rocket hammer.
Jawohl.
Jawohl. Jawohl. So Q, and left shift, and up.
That was awesome.
We're going to take you to the point, capture it, and defeat our enemy. Let's jump into the game.
Just follow us.
Get him!
Get him!
Okay, so we just have to defend right where we are?
Defend it. Defend the point.
Oh, I got.
See if we can defeat them. Oh!
Oh no! 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 What happened?
You fell off the point. Nice.
Yes!
Right behind you, up top,
no.
up top of a crate. No!
I was eliminated by Ben.
Yeah, Ben.
Who's Ben? Where's Ben?
I brought you back to life, Dad.
Oh, you did?
I brought you back to life.
Oh, yay.
Keep swinging. Keep swinging.
And now Ben eliminates me.
It's Ben. Ben is out to get you.
There we go! Get him! You having a good time?
This is awesome.
That's it. That's it.
We win the game!
Yay!
You guys carried me.
No, at all.
No.
Of course, after every game,
Yeah?
you have to thank your opponent.
Yes? Ben! Hi. Good to see you.
Surprise. This was my Father's Day gift to you.
This is it? I don't
This
get a
was
tie?
it. No tie. Your gift was Johnny. Thank you for
I
coming
appreciate
out.
you. Thank you for bringing me into your world.
Yeah.
I love you.
Love you.
Special thanks to the legendary LeVar Burton and Mika Burton for such a touching, heartwarming little tribute to Father's Day. And happy Father's Day to all the supportive fathers out there. But anyways, guys, it's halftime, and the Los Angeles Gladiators currently up 2-0. Malik here, Brennan, Zoe. Guys, I put my best dad outfit on, by the way.
I love it.
Yeah. Today. How you guys feeling about this game so far, man?
Well, the game so far, no slides, not today. No social sound. As much as I'm trying, they've been banned off the broadcast, unfortunately. You know, hashtag justice for Bren. You know, get it trending.
Bring him back.
Yeah.
But this game, I mean, it's going to be a short halftime because it's been a short game so far, realistically.
Pretty much.
Great analysis. Bring it, Bren.
Well, the first map, I mean, actually was decent by Washington Justice, I think, into it. Ark had a phenomenal start. He got 2 environmental kills onto Decay in this first part, which set them up. You can see Decay in the kill feed there. It says he ended up killing himself, but actually it's him right-clicking, trying to get back onto the point, wasn't able to do it. So Ark really set them up for victory here on this first point, but they just couldn't clinch it in the end. And it's frustrating, isn't it? Because sometimes you see moments of brilliance from the Washington Justice, and something just doesn't click with them. But again, this is a terrible opponent to be coming up against, because you're arguably going up with a top 5 team right now in the league.
Right.
Yeah, and the Washington Justice, they don't quite have the flexibility really in their roster to really switch off that triple tank, triple support composition. And frankly, if you are going up against the clearly better GOATS team, you're just not going to have a good time. So they're just kind of trying to grind it out. And frankly, I think they did a good job at punishing whatever mistakes they did see from the Gladiators. However, the Gladiators are just a very, very solid team. And so they couldn't really punish quite as much. In fact, they got so little done on Horizon. I think they ended the whole map, the entirety of the map, with an overall of 2 fractional kills. And that's not very much. So they had a rough time.
Yeah, rough indeed. This has been very lopsided so far. Well, guys, the second half is coming up. And don't forget, Sleepy from the Washington Justice will be joining us after the match live on the Watchpoint Post Show. We got new Bonnie coming up right after the break, so stay tuned. You won't want to miss it.
일단 제 이 프로게이머라는 직업이 저의 첫 사회 생활이면서 첫 직업이었는데 미국에서 쭉 일하고 있는데요.
부모님들은 그냥 열심히 하라 정도? 그냥 이제 네가 할 거 일 찾았으니까 열심히 해봐라 그 정도?
하시는 것 같아요. 근데 뭐 제 입장에서는 당연히 다 부셔버리고 오겠다는 마인드로 게임 하는 것 같아요.
absolutely not biased in this studio that happens to be in Los Angeles, live from the Blizzard studio, not the Gladiator studio, but you know, good times.
Yeah, but they are the team of the day, and also I have to drive home tonight, and usually the path I take home goes right past the arena. A lot of fans go by there. If you're here early enough and you hear some really loud music going by in the morning, that's me. Just driving into work, trying to get myself mentally prepared for the day.
I knew it was you.
It's always me.
But, okay, let's just move on because...
Speaking of hardcore, Decay has gone really ham on this team the last couple of maps. His average energy has been super high. He's doing more damage than his counterpart, and I think that's been the big difference, just the constant damage. And that damage doesn't always show up even in the numbers because a lot of it goes into shields. And those shields cracking early, and even the threat of them cracking early gives you a positional advantage because the Ryan says, I gotta back up around this corner, and then it stalls things out. So, first two maps went the way of the Gladiators rather easily. Next up is Numbani, and this map has been a joy to watch for the fans of wonky, weird, wacky compositions, at least for first point.
And the fans of wacky arm inflatable man. What was it? Wacky waving arm inflatable man. That's a reference and a half. All right, let's go. Getting into it, and what a shack. What a shack.
Well, Chazz and Big Goose were on some DPS heroes, but they're going to change here. Seems like the Gladiators just want to get their map differential up. Look, they're only in 4th place by 1 map over London. So it actually really is important to not sleep on the Washington Justice. And I think maybe would have seen different comps if the Justice haven't looked so decent on Nepal. So now the Gladiators, no nonsense, going to run a standard 3-3 composition. Reinhardt defense is a little bit interesting, but you can definitely run it here. Now the Gladiators just going to do the full wrap around, or at least the half wrap. Looks like they're going all the way back, but they lose Chazz, lose Big Goose, and they lose the fight. You might as well jump off the edge because you're not winning without those two.
That's the difference between the Winston and the Ryan. The Winston will tickle you and get primal really quickly. The Ryan can actually just end you. 2 swings of the hammer, he was already up to 41% on the shatter, and then the fire strike just to pass off. Like,
I actually think they should have just backed up right off that cliff. You have a reset option right over there, and that's where they were close enough to. Now you've just fed over so much ultimate charge. Yep. You're not winning that fight. It just doesn't happen that you lose Lucio and Zenyatta and win a fight. So now, Yanis at 90% near a shatter, War is still only sitting at 30. So the ultimate economy definitely in favor of the Washington Justice if they can execute properly here.
They're capable of it.
Let's see if they're rotating back around. Yeah, the Gladiators are going to try this again. They're going to rotate all the way around. Probably going to try to speed boost in this time. Make sure that the shields and Matrix are in the proper positions so you don't lose anybody early. But actually just taking it slow on Broad Street, sending in right clicks up top.
Methodical approach. They know that they're playing from behind right now, the Gladiators. Same move this time. Janice doesn't quite go down. Big Goose, though, dropping dangerously low. That might have prompted him to go for the play here. Surefour gonna get brought in. Roar as well, and just like that, with the use of a single grab, yeah, that will be a solid hold. They lose sleeve, but that's actually not the biggest deal here for Washington Justice if they get this so clean. Like, why are the Gladiators still hanging around feeding the charge?
Well, there was no good escape there for Decay. On the first push, they were already pushed back to the cliff, so they could have jumped off, but that one, they were so split up that they were going to lose somebody there.
I was just thinking Void. Void was just kind of like, Void can just boost straight out and, you know, get out of dodge.
I mean, you also kind of want to maybe save Decay so that you don't have to rebuild energy. However, the Gladiators did get some more work done there, so the ult economy somewhat equalizing here. But a good fight for Justice. Open some space for Self-Destruct.
Ooh, that's a nice attempt. Straight in, over the top, Roar on point. They are divided now, the Gladiators, and with no shield to hide behind, there is a Trance. Chazz gets it up, but Surefour is going to get smushed against the wall before. Well, it doesn't matter whether the Trance is there or not, he's the goner, and this is looking very good for the Justice. At this point, they've used a lot of their ults, sure, 3 of them, but they've won that fight handily, and they're going to have the grab for the next push. We're down to a minute on the clock, Hex.
Only person who would have lived through that charge would have been the Zenyatta himself. A high healing rate doesn't mean invulnerability there. So you've seen some Zenyatas actually try to dive in front of whoever's getting charged and hopefully take it from them. It's not always the easiest thing to do. In fact, it's very difficult to do, especially in those situations. Gladiators down to their last push. They banked up tank ultimates, but they used both support ultimates during the last fight. So Sleepy's got Transcendence for this grab.
Need the grab to go through, and yep, it does. Success, but then the counter comes through. That might actually buy them a little bit of time. Surefour goes down, but they trade for Otto. This time it's a 1-for-1. Gladiators, though, dropping dangerously behind in the poke battle. They're all so very low. Oh, we may actually have a hard hold here, Hex.
Zoned out, too, by that Self-Destruct. Didn't show up in the kill feed, but it put everybody in a bad position. Roar falling, only 3 alive for the Gladiators. They've got notions of resetting, but I think they're misguided. Very difficult to get anybody back here. It's just going to be Big Goose trying to come in and touch the point, keep his team into it. Gets a bubble late.
I mean, you can hear the honking on the wind. The feathers flutter as Big Goose is just wrapping walls and trying to get in here to keep it going, and sure enough, they will. Gladiators now back into this fight, all 6 of them.
Yeah, Chazz also has the Transcendence as well. He's going to use it, keep his team topped up. They pick up a kill.
Unbelievable. No way does this work. Surefour, there's the shatter. Yanis, can he get the follow-up on it? Anything to go? Surefour goes down, that's still a trade, but Sleepy's out of it. Without Corey or Arc, it's going to look pretty difficult here for the Justice. Unbelievable. The Los Angeles Gladiators pull it together, and in overtime will cap the point. 2.5 minutes added to the clock.
So it looked like they were retreating with the Big Goose Taxi to bring everybody back in, but what he was doing is wrapping around there so he could come in and touch last second. But big ups to the communication that happened there, because if he doesn't get that bubble from Decay as he's skating along the point, he's very likely bashed and dead or beamed down and dead. So the communication shining really well there, as Decay knows exactly when the Goose is loose, able to give him the protection he needs, and that stall out bought them the point.
Wow, that is a brutal turn of events for Justice. That's going to definitely deflate them a bit. Now the true test, can they get their heads back in the game? Corey goes for the grab, brings him in. We had support ults online, though, for the Gladiators, so they will negate it. Not a lot of damage. Decay's grab gets eaten by Sanctum, though. Big plays coming through here for the Justice. They are not giving up easily. The Gladiators are definitely having to work for it now, and Roar is going to get focused down. Surely he doesn't make it out. Yep, he's gone.
Well, you know, I mentioned at the top of the cast that it seems like there's at least one person for the Justice who plays well every day. Today seems to be Sanctum Day. He's had a couple of nice matrixes, a couple of nice self-destructs. If the rest of the team can start matching his pacing, then they can easily take Numbani, which seems to be a map that just goes in very odd directions for teams. Washington was toying with the idea of a forward hold. Not going to happen. We're going to play corner a little bit here instead.
Moving on through. Looking for it. Surefour has had a lot of trouble staying alive, to be fair, as well. Like, he is not having the best of days here so far. It seems like he's the first to go most of these fights for the Gladiators, and that's not going to help things. So much utility and just the AoE healing that a Brigida brings to the table.
The Gladiators have a lot of tools online to work with, Graviton and Shatter being most amongst them. Same thing for the Justice, though. However, the Transcendence in favor of the Gladiators, so if they... Oh, nice Shatter. Takes down a couple.
Yeah, Big Goose is gone to kick things off. There's the grab. Will he get it? Yep, Boyd gets the remake. Chazz with the Trance is keeping his team up. Sanctum able to just dart right on through, and now the sound barrier comes out here from Arc. It looks like they want to end this fight, the Washington Justice. They've got ults coming online, and once again, Surefour goes down. Not helping things here for the Gladiators. Surefour just making life pretty difficult, and Roar gets caught on a bench. Somehow a bench is able to withstand a charging Reinhardt.
Sanctum, another couple of huge kills as Self-Destructs take those Decay. Now he's able to take down Big Goose. This seems like it'll be where the Gladiators are stopped after a valiant .1 hold. It is .1 push, rather.
It feels like it's been a while since we've seen teams get stuck here.
It's been a bit because you have such a big spawn advantage that as long as you're trading, you're okay, but Decay comes back out on the Tracer. Not willing to count the Gladiator out just yet.
Not at all. I mean, it's the complete opposite. It's 3-1 in terms of kills right now for the Washington Justice. They are the ones who are locking it down, and Sleepy's on a tear. Finally, somebody removes this guy, but the Justice, there we go. Some smiles, some signs of life as they realize that they just held the Gladiators pretty much at the front door. A single point picked up for the Gladiators on the offense, and we're going to see what they're capable of on the defense right after this.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back from the break, and we're into a real match now. The Washington Justice, they managed to snap that shield in half. Not going anywhere. The Los Angeles Gladiators, they picked up the first point, and then that was it. The cart hardly made it past spawn. The Justice, and in large part, Sansam making it happen on the defense. They just completely shut the Gladiators out.
Yeah, I believe he had a hit. Alt negated, he's hitting self-destructs, he's getting kills after the fact by picking off these lone supports in the back line. So Sansam with a really nice game so far. Not quite over yet, though. Los Angeles leads the series 2-0. If they can full hold here, then they will win the series outright 3-0. However, it is a daunting task, but it's Numbani. Stranger things have happened. Teams get full held on Numbani first all the time.
I'm just thinking, I wish that one of the players just stuck like Chazz actually had that LA tattoo, you know, not on his neck, but on his forehead. You know, something like that. You know, he just like tips the hat up all the time. It's there, like a third eye.
No, totally. You should definitely recommend to the young people to get face tattoos.
Why? Neck tattoos are better, Hex? No.
A little bit, a tiny bit. You could wear turtlenecks. Sleepy went off here. Gonna be that, but a new addition. Look at these volleys towards the ends, hitting headshots, cleaning it up. I could wear the tactile neck.
The tactical turtleneck.
Yeah, you can't show up at a job interview.
30 years in a day.
You can't show up at a job interview with a ski mask on. That's an attempted robbery, my friend.
There's no shirt for your face.
All right, wraparound attempted here for Washington. Still, though, they come in and they get more really, really early. Yanis falls next, so this one is scrappy. Both teams missing their Diva and their Rhine, but Corey falls next. That might be all she wrote. Short4 on the redemption tour after he got rocked on their offense.
They did the exact same thing that the Gladiators did on offense, the Justice there. They just walk into that corner. I guess Roar was just like, sweet, I can return the favor.
Well, the
now I'm
difficult
going
thing,
to get to smash.
Yeah, the difficult thing is trying to walk up these stairs versus a Rhine. You're just going to eat fire strikes a lot of the time. You get displaced in a really interesting way, but they're going to try stairs right now. See if the defense can hold this.
Woo. Unloading with the volley, that was painful. Sleepy, getting in there, trying to hunt down Decay, and then they're gonna get grabbed into oblivion.
The big problem here is that this Rhine up top can play corner, and the other Rhine has no choice but to walk upstairs. And you don't really have that same kind of corner play. It's not much wider, but it's a little bit wider for the defense up here, so the defending Rhine has a small advantage. Also, like I said, those fire strikes are just going to come in, and you're trying to walk upstairs and push at the same time. Generally, not the easiest of things, but we'll try it again.
It's the Sisyphean task. Walking up those stairs. And let's say straight into the mix this time. Corey leading the way. Beeman hoping to do some damage. A little bit of pressure on the point, but we're going to lose Arc and all of that chaos. And now you actually have Sleepy committing with the Trance. Despite the fact that they're down a man, this is an interesting decision. I guess because Arc can just run his way back into
Big Goose
so quick.
Big Goose isolates Yanis, and Yanis dies.
I bet Sleepy wishes he had that Trance back now.
Well, I mean, they both trade kind of interesting trances there, but, you know, Sleepy is going to be ahead of it because he used his a little more interesting earlier on. Just like that, we're down to 90 seconds on attack. Los Angeles looking to hold this one and shut out the series. They're going to have Graviton to work with. Graviton Self-Destruct, but Self-Destruct has rarely been used offensively lately.
Yeah, we saw Void huck one in there earlier as a way to try and change things up.
Yeah, if they go up the stairs, they're just going to throw in that self-destruct. So they're going to walk up Main Street.
Yep, and then they go straight into a wall. Los Angeles Gladiators are here. Shields interlocked. Sound barrier gets used by Arc, and he immediately gets picked by Shurford, who steps his game up. Arc having a rough time of it. That's going to let Janis go down, and now we are down to the final push.
Well, late kill on a Sleepy, too. That's 2 fights in a row. That Arc just gets eliminated right away. And I think he was actually trying to break it down there. Look at these ult percentages. He must have used beat and got canceled. That's been happening to Lucio's a lot lately.
The stun is so brutal.
Yeah. Shield bash feels bad. Kind of rhymes.
Feels bad, man. Yeah. But Justice now. They got some work ahead of them here.
Sleepy has Transcendence up again, so some counterplay to the inevitable Graviton Surge is going to happen. I think as soon as they show their faces, Short4's going to rally. Yep, they jump in.
Gonna go in, and this time again, Chaos. Chaos out and out. Decay still holding on to his grab, and that is Sleepy using the Trance just to let his team survive long enough to get onto the point. Chazz gonna go ahead and use his to just keep everybody healthy, and we still have the grab. There it is from Decay, brings Otto in. Otto's a goner, and the Los Angeles Gladiators are going to hard hold the Washington Justice in the most heartbreaking fashion. 3-0. For the Los Angeles Gladiators, they take the series, and the Washington Justice, after such a great defensive half, unable to put it together on the offense.
0% there on the push as well. Seemed like Arc was getting bashed and booped at the end. Yanis got bashed and booped and separated from his team. Really good play there from Short Four, who had a, not the best offensive half, but his defensive half was absolutely stellar on Brigida. We have map 4 coming up for you right after this.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.
The Gladiators have done it, Hex. They have taken the win 3-0 over the Washington Justice, but we are going to play out that fourth map, as always, here at Overwatch League.
Yeah.
Map differential.
And aside from Lunar Colony, it was somewhat close. I mean, especially Numbani was. There were moments on Nepal where Washington looked like the better team.
Yes.
So not the overwhelming performance you'd expect, but just shows you how close teams are in the Overwatch League. That number 4 and number 19 can play each other this close. Man on your screen is Void. We've not been calling his name a lot today, but D.Va, very much like an offensive lineman. If you're not calling their name, they're very much doing their job very correctly. A good D.Va, you just almost don't even know they're there. Only died twice on Numbani, despite his team getting rocked a lot on that offensive push of theirs. But Void has been doing his job, and you know that because this is the first time we've mentioned it.
Yeah, I think Lunar, he ate a grab from Corey.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think like that. He's eaten a couple grabs, but I mean, that's really when you actually notice. Looks like we're straight into the action. Looks like Arc is dying as well. Tough break for Arc there.
Well, Arc, Jana, Sanctum, all down, all dead. That means the rest of everyone's gonna die as well. And right out storming the gates are the Gladiators. And that is just a rough start here on Havana. Ruh-roh. On the map of Havana.
Gladiators, though.
That's put in my head since this map got released.
That's definitely the case. I also think, you know, never mind. Godfather, you know.
Yeah.
So good.
All right, initiation coming in from Washington, who just got wrecked there, short board. He's playing a little more passively on these offenses. He got kind of dominated. Yanis falls first. Rally will very likely be hit. Might not need it, though. Definitely don't need it. Decay dies first, but there's been too many kills onto Washington to really come back in here. They're down 2 members. The spawns do come up. Cart probably far enough away that Washington can get another fight in here. A rallying grab loaded up for the Justice. Now the taxi is coming in for the Gladiators. They have to play a little passively here, waiting to get their own players back.
Hey, Corey's thinking about it. He's thinking about that grab. Turns out he doesn't really need it. Or no, never mind. They are going to go for it. There's Chazz waiting on it, though. That costs them. Does that cost them this fight? Corey goes down trying to make the grab happen, and now there's going to be a huge advantage here for the Los Angeles Gladiators. Decay is fully charged. He's got his grab online.
Yeah, Yanis got pushed in, so they had to use Transcendence early to keep him alive. A grab does come out from Decay, a zoning grab as it were. They clean up the rest of it. It is now 11-2 eliminations in favor of the Gladiators. After a brief hiccup, they take first point of Havana rather easily.
Agonizing. Agonizing defeat in the defense. It looked so good there for a moment, but not gonna happen. Los Angeles Gladiators maintaining the stranglehold.
Now they're able to take this high ground onto second point, which is naturally available for the defense, so important for the offense to get here quickly and take position. A lot like Junkertown in that, where you get first point and you get it quickly and cleanly, then you're able to get a really nice position on the second point.
Tough break there that they weren't able to get that forward spot, although if they could push the Gladiators back far enough, could get interesting here for the Justice. Payload continues to make progress though, so not likely.
That's gonna make progress until the underpass. Right now, the Gladiators are going to try to wrap around and just win a fight. They don't need to push the cart. They need to win a fight. Then the cart push is rather easy when there's no one in front of it.
It's funny how that works.
Rally will be likely coming in for both teams. On cue.
There it is. Oh, Arc all alone. Somebody save him. No, he's gone. Roar. Roar and Big Goose. Assassins.
You have to start wondering if the way Washington is performing lately is they all feel like they have to make giant plays. So they take risks that a lot of other teams don't have to take. And so that causes them to be more separated. It causes Arc to go more aggressive and to try to play into situations where he doesn't need to be playing. And it's kind of like, it's a vicious cycle. It's this feedback loop. We're losing, I have to make plays.
But we're losing because
we're losing because I'm trying to make play. There's so many things not going right for Washington. It's hard to pinpoint.
No, that's an interesting grab. Just thrown in there, Chazz. No worries, he's got the chance to keep his team up. Otto's gonna get pasted up against the wall. Nice bomb again. Surefour going down. Surefour tends to be dying a lot as well on the offense. Now it's sound barriers all over the place. Corey stuck against the wall. This could be it. The charge is on cooldown though for Roar, so no follow-up. He's still gonna be able to swing and connect with heads.
Well, second stage doesn't go any better for Washington here. It is 24 eliminations to 4 on the board as the Gladiators try to close this one out. Look, a lot of times we tell you that map 4 matters, and sometimes it really doesn't. This one does, because the Gladiators are really fighting for seeding. As I said, they're number 4, but only one map ahead of London keeps them at 4 right now. And also, when you start getting the seedings and things like that, having the best record possible is always great. So they really need this map 4. They're looking to close it out. Decay's nearing another Graviton. They have to play a little bit back now. Roar and Decay took some chip. They're going to be in decent position.
Now I'm very curious to see if we get to see a full 3 points on offense for Havana, which is very rare. I mean, it's looking good right now. Once again, the front line dies for the Washington Justice. Back line is going to get to take a nap as well.
Yep. Just Arc being able to get out alive.
Can we get a quick pan of the actual castle? It looks so sick. It's huge.
Yeah, it's nice. It's actually historically accurate, as all Overwatch maps are, based on real architecture for the most part, unless they're fictional places. Havana, very much real.
Yeah, I was about to say Havana.
Well, you know, the embargo's lifted. It exists now.
Oh, well, let's see if a third point exists here for the Gladiators. You're going to have Void just dying. That's a self-destruct. It's just kind of thrown in there. So chaos in the back line for the Justice. The Justice are just using ults left and right at this point. But the Gladiators withstand. They're hanging in there. Shatter not going to find anything, and this is the Gladiators now just pressing forward. Nothing left here for the Justice. Corey's got the grab. He's got to throw it.
It's going to happen.
No hesitation. Chucks it out into the open, and that is actually the winning move
from downtown. Able to hit it in desperation play. Able to get the allied barrier onto Yanis as well. Puts in so much damage. And finally, a tourniquet applied to the defense of the Washington Justice.
Just depends where. Hex.
That was
not around the neck.
Yeah, that was femoral artery bleeding out.
Yeah, that was brutal. Now the Justice though. Let's see. Decay's got the grab, but we got Sound Barrier. We got everything we need here for Washington Justice. This fight has gone so well for them that now all of the other ults are about to come online, and it's going to get a bit dicey here for the Gladiators.
What could be a better defender's advantage than a literal castle? A little wide open space here as well. Nice eat from Sanctum. He's had a very good day for Justice.
Oh man, it looks like we're going to get denied with full 3 points. If the Justice play this right, they've got such a huge advantage right now.
Nice barrier from Big Goose, keeps everybody alive.
All right, over the top, Self-Destruct, cool, fresh mech. We're down to a minute on the clock here for the Gladiators. On offense, 50 seconds now, and well, the Gladiators side is now or never. Sure4 with the rally, trying to get everybody into the fight. Chazz has got the Trance.
Shatter gets one down, Decay will fall. The counter Shatter in, but they're gonna be able to protect Sleepy. Gets a repair pack and a shield. And even though Yana's getting knocked around like a beach ball at a baseball game, able to stay alive. And the Justice might have just, well, held this 3rd point here. They're gonna have rally for next fight. A Self-Destruct from Void can come in. We haven't called his name much, but that's the only thing that Los Angeles Gladiators have. You might just chuck it in there to try to get a positional advantage, maybe to clear high left and clear out that high ground that Washington is holding.
Entirely possible at this point. What's it gonna be? It's looking like it's the Gladiators now. They have a body on the payload. Need to be careful. There it is. Void keeps doing this, using the mech. Oh, unbelievable. He actually finds a kill for once. Could not have gone better. That's the start they were hoping for here for the Gladiators. And now we need a contest on the point. Otto's on there. Just barely makes it in time. The grab gets thrown in by Corey, but only a single kill comes of it, and that's not going to be good enough. Corey and Arc, the last two alive here for the Justice. Unless somebody can get back in here and touch the point fast, they are going to get all 3. 3 points for the Gladiators.
Just a perfect Self-Destruct in the back corner. You know that's where Zen wants to set up. They're unable to get the shield back there on time. Everyone else is holding further forward. Unable to get a speed boost back there to get him out of harm's way either.
Oh, brutal, brutal. I cursed him. That's what happened. I thought the Justice were going to do it. I thought they were going to close the door, but nope.
People think it's a joke. Caster curse is real. You got to be careful with your words.
Yeah, take better response. It's been a while, you know. Usually you're not calling things, but then all of a sudden.
Yeah. Which is why I openly accept bribes.
Backfires. Oh, indeed. What are we going to do now, though? If you're the Justice, you're going on offense. We saw what happened on Numbani, the hard hold. And Sure4 hits a higher level on defense as well. Right now, he's kind of lagging behind versus Otto.
Yeah, but his defense on Numbani was very, very good. Knowing the positioning here. Wouldn't mind seeing a bunker comp from the Los Angeles Gladiators, but like I said, this is one of those map wars. That is great art. I love these maps. This is one of those map wars that really, really matters if the Gladiators want to be in top 4 rather than top 6, and like also just looking forward to the season playoffs, which the Gladiators are on a trajectory to get to. Map differential will matter in seeding. I guarantee you it'll come down to something, at least stage playoffs. Void.
Only 10 other players have reached this mark.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
That's a solid stat to have to your name. Void.
Yeah.
Getting value.
It's kind of a weird acronym to call it Final Blow versus Death. Everyone's used to KDR, but we don't use the K word here. It's Final Blows.
First-person action game.
First-person action game, that's right.
Get it straight, Hex. Let's see if the Gladiators are going to get it straight on the defense or if they will fold. Washington Justice have got a long way to go. 3 points on Havana. That is not an easy task. I like how Sleepy just sighs. Zen just sighs, he gets fire strikes. Again, really? Again, and then Sleepy dies, and you can just hear the Zen sighing again, really?
Yep, this one's over. Couple of quick kills. Gladiators piling on right now. They have to hold for 3 minutes and 22 seconds before first if they want the map to end. Of course, Washington will get time extensions if they get more points. But how do you dig deep here if you're Washington? You know, you gotta find something to play for. Play for the guy next to you, you know?
I think that's probably what's going on. I think I see Sleepy and Otto chuckling. Seems like there's a good rapport there. Corey calling it. What is the play? Otto is dead. He's back in spawn. That is not going to help things.
Oh. It's been one-sided here. So far, no kills on the offense.
Oh, that could not have been gone. That could not have gone worse. For Sanctum, getting DMAX there. Really?
He must have decent self-destruct charge, otherwise you just go and switch heroes.
Yes, exactly. What a delay. Ah, brutal. 2.5 minutes on the clock for the Justice. Gladiators now.
I mean, it helps Corey build a little bit of energy at least, but 66%, yeah, I guess you'd go die for that. It's only about 5 or 6 seconds, which it'll take you longer than that to get to the 66%, so an interesting Baby Diva non-stagger, non-switch, or stagger, non-switch instead. Now, ultimate phase of the game, 2 minutes left for the Gladiators, trying to 4-0 this series.
And it looks like now it's time for the Justice to get in. But then there's still a contest. Big Goose even hanging around on the side. Here's the rally from Surefour trying to open it up. He is going to get smashed. Decay and Void off on the side. They get grabbed and they get saved. Chazz is there with the Trance to keep him up. And just like that, it's back into a standoff.
Big Goose also sent them back into the Nether Realm the moment that Shatter came in. He's looking for a big follow-up, and he sends them back about 20 feet. The support line of the Gladiators has been so consistently top tier.
They got to be feeling good about this, though, the Justice. They've finally taken Roar out. I mean, he is on the ride. He can boost his way back in, so it's not the longest run. But there still might be an opening, a window. Yep, sure enough. The Goose has gone back to fetch him.
Gotta get that taxi.
He might just barely make it in time. It looks like it.
Yeah, they're good. And you also have, like, you know, got some mobility there. Able to come back in. All right, getting down to it. 60 seconds remains. Void finds himself in a tough spot, but boosters are good. Remechs are fun as well.
Roar going down early, though. That's not going to help things. Surefour as well, caving. Something like the golden opportunity here. The Washington Justice finally getting a few kills on the board, making it happen.
It might have been an ill-advised self-destruct there. You'd rather get back to your team, be able to eat fire strikes, be able to eat incoming orbs as well. Instead, he goes for the big play over top, but in that architecture where there's all these hidey holes, it's gonna be very difficult to find kills with that self-destruct. Wasn't even under that much pressure either. See if Gladiators can recontest here. They're getting pressured up top, they're back in.
Yep, the job's not done, but Chazz had the Trance. Doesn't matter, Big Goose is gone. Decay is getting low as well. He'll get top back up again. Looked like he was cut off from the rest of his team, but we've lost Surefour, and the back line going down for the Gladiators is not going to help things. The focus fire too good here from the Justice, who are tightening up their game. They will succeed in picking up the first point.
Finally are able to break through there. It's not over just yet. The Washington Justice trying to salvage something from this match. Salvage some sort of good gameplay, good pride, anything out of this one, because it's been pretty rough for them thus far. You got to start with small victories.
I like that they get 3 on there as well, just to get the maximum speed. It's the small things, right? But you get it through that arch so that the Gladiators can't just lock you there. The Gladiators not messing around, looking for the grab. There's the Shatter. Just back and forth. The Goose does not get caught. Corey is fully charged up, and Corey is dead. That's not going to help anything here. There was, however, he got the grab off before he died, and so there is a bit of a trade. There's a chance here for the Justice on the offense.
Yeah, they actually have the numbers advantage here, trying to dislodge the remainder of this team. Void's able to take out Sanctum now, and Sanctum's been the hero for this squad. Got a couple of kills to open up that fight, but now he's just got to play cart. He's trying to get his mech back here. It charges really fast, the mech, so he should be able to get it back. He's in playing good position, so they're going to wait for him to get mech back. Now it's going to be a rally coming in that should give the Justice at least a small advantage in armor. Armor is very powerful in the Overwatch universe.
I almost wanted to see him be like, just drop the mech, drop the self-destruct right there off the edge. That'd be fun, but probably not the smartest play. Sound barrier in. Of course, Jana, despite the sound barrier, gets melted, instantly melted.
And teams have just been exploiting the fact that sometimes Yanis is maybe a foot or two too far in front, and sometimes his supports won't commit with him. Yep. So the moment that Yanis steps 1 foot out of line, he gets pushed forward, he gets displaced, he gets Big Goose getting a boop. And then even if it's not a boop, they will send just 3 people after him. They will drop both tanks on him and simply outbody, outpressure him, and Washington's unable to punish people for doing it.
Oh, we lose Corey already to kick things off. Grab was in, and that is it. And now we're going to have the Washington Justice giving ground, but this is 10 seconds left on the clock, essentially, here for the Justice. They're out of time, Hex.
Last leg, Self-Destruct going to be the last hope and a prayer lobbed in over top if they can get there. Not a lot for Los Angeles either, but a little bit more.
They got that rally they can use. They're waiting to see what's going to happen here. We're into the overtime. And there it is. Self-Destruct over the top, trying to get clever. Doesn't find a kill. But Arc goes down, and that's not going to help things here for the Justice. Already down a man. Down there, Lucio. Sleepy, stunned, deaded. Who else is going down next? It's going to be Yanis by the looks of it, or Otto. Otto gets the rally off at least, and now you get Arc just going for the hamster just to try and get back into this fight all the faster, but it's just not going to be enough. The Los Angeles Gladiators going to get that map differential they were looking for. They're going to get that clean 4-0. And the Gladiators have done it.
It's a great theme song, but today you could just swap it out with taking care of business, because that's exactly what they were able to do. And you know, Washington, you give them a couple weeks after they add new players and you think maybe they can start gelling, but the amount of times Arc's dying first, he's not gelled into this team just yet. Sleepy's still trying to do his best to carry this team, puts out a lot of damage, but it's not enough for the Washington Justice. And back to the drawing board with this squad, but congratulations to the Los Angeles Gladiators, winning on Gladiators Day here in Los Angeles. They did take care of it just as they had to. I thought they were going to try some new things out, some new strats, but the 3-3 is just fine. As I said, really matters for seeding for this team to start winning and 4-0s.
Exactly, to try and start pecking away at the top of the pack. It looks like we have Surefour ready for an interview with Mika. We'll hand it over to her.
Thanks, guys. We got Surefour down here on the floor, and you have taken the win on Gladiators Day, so that must be pretty exciting. Give it up, Gladiators fans in the background there. Nicely done. So your next match will be going up against Shanghai. Your next match will be going up against Shanghai Dragons, and it is said now by some people that Ding is one of the best Sombras in the league. So how are you going to help shut down those EMPs and take home another win for the Gladiators?
Well, I play a lot of Sombra myself, so I know a little bit how Sombra's think, so I'll just try and make his life a living hell, you know?
I love that casual confidence. It's amazing. And today is Father's Day, so the Gladiators, the Daddiators, tweeted this very wholesome photo of you and your dad wearing your jersey. So what does it make you feel to see your dad wearing your jersey?
I mean, both my mom and my dad have come here multiple times to watch me play. They always say good luck before the match, so they're very supportive. And my dad's retired, so he has a lot of time to just watch me play. So I love him a lot.
Do you think we're going to be seeing some Surefour dad duos anytime soon?
Probably not.
Well, that's very fair. Thank you, Surefour, and thank you, LA Gladiators. That's all we have here. Back to you, Semler, next.
Thank you, Mika, and thank you, Lane. I mean, Surefour, he had his moments today. Yeah. Some struggle a little bit on the offense, it seemed, but on the defense, his defensive game was good.
We didn't see it today, but I really like keeping Surefour in this lineup because he does offer that versatility. We've always talked about it with this guy. He's played everything. The one hero he doesn't play a whole lot is Lucio, who's going to be our player of the match, presented by Owned by HP, and Big Goose. The Goose was loose today. It started on Nepal, gets a transcending Sleepy into the pit. He was always behind Yanis, always an ever-present threat. Great sound barrier timings. But look, they lose Sanctum. You don't know where the confidence of this team goes. He had some amazing plays on Nepal.
He's always a big reason why the Gladiators fare so well. Just been with the team since day one. Him and Chazz, the indomitable duo, just monsters, and so many environmental kills. Well, not that many too, but hey, you know, Lucio's.
There's a lot of Lucio plays that don't show up too, even on Havana late, and it didn't look like it was going on, but they got shattered, and Big Goose set 3 of them away, so there could be no follow-up on them. Those will never show up on a stat screen, but those are the kind of plays that Lucio and Big Goose in particular excel at.
So guys, that's it for the matches today, but we're not done yet with the show. The Watch Point post-show is coming up next, and you are definitely going to want to tune in right now because Hex is going to be on it. He's about to run from the caster nest up here down to the desk down there, and we're going to get to see what he gets up to with the rest of them. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the Watch Point post-show.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Toyota, official North American partner of the Overwatch League. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey man, what's up?
You need anything for today?
Nah man, I think I'm set.
Big day today, man?
Yeah, huge. Let's play some Overwatch.